and welcome to CatavanCast, van life with a cat. It's a show where we discuss our experiences travelling through the many countries of Europe in a campervan. I'm Ben.
I'm Frey.
Dargo.
She's awake because I woke her up for this.
Yes.
And she's in frog mode right now.
She is. She may get playful or scatty. Not scatty. She may get active during the podcast.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe she'll just fall asleep again.
Or maybe.
As is standard.
As long as she doesn't knock the microphone, that's fine. Yeah, so today we're covering Spain Part 2.
Part 2.
Spain at the time was our longest time in a country.
Yes.
Well, maybe not at that time, actually. No, it
No.
was about a month. It was about a month we were there, then we left and we came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so until we got to Greece, Spain was a country we'd spent the most time in.
Yeah. And Spain's still the country that we've entered and left the most, isn't it?
Yes, but that's mainly due to Gibraltar at the bottom. Parking outside of Gibraltar is kind of cheating. Yeah, so we've split Spain into two parts. This is part 2,
Yeah.
as the more astute of you will have noticed from the title of this episode. So last week we covered from entering the country from France,
Yeah.
as one does, right down to our Christmas break. We booked, was it 7 days?
I think so.
7 days in a part of a villa in Lorca. Or outside up in the mountains near Lorca. Lorca was the nearest settlement. We were nowhere near Lorca, really.
We were about half an hour gravel track away from
it
Lorca.
was.
But yes.
Yeah, we got there Christmas Eve, and we left on the 30th of January. Not January, December. No,
Jeez, we weren't there for that long.
that was a long week. No, that was very nice. I mean, there was a misunderstanding on when we were arriving.
Yeah.
And it was surprisingly cold, but then we were up in the mountains, weren't we?
Yeah.
Like we had these visions of spending Christmas in sunny Spain with Hawaiian shirts.
Well, it was still sunny and we had our Hawaiian shirt.
It was certainly still so. Yes, we did.
Christmas dinner.
We did wear our Hawaiian shirts, but I also needed my Russian hat on to keep me warm, and there was a hoodie on beneath my Hawaiian shirt. My parents came out to visit for 2 nights. They came out for. I think it was my dad's first time driving in Spain. Then he had to. Fair play to him for not doubting his sat nav and following it up the dirt track.
Yeah.
The kilometres of dirt track to the villa. I had to tell them to bring their slippers. Because, but yeah, it was nice. It was nice to have a bit of a break.
Yeah.
And we did a little bit of work to the van while we were there.
Oh yes, we did, didn't we? We bought some cloth and I made some cushion covers. And we glued several bits of the van back together.
Yeah, but just go back the cloth. So the bed in the van, when we bought it, you have the U-shaped seating amenity that you normally get in a van like that, and that could be all folded down and all the backrests and stuff used as a mattress. These were not particularly comfortable.
No.
So we got rid of them, and we went to a foam cutting company. Didn't we?
Yeah.
And just cut.
Yeah.
It's essentially, it's not memory foam, is it? But it's...
No, it's just it's medium firmness foam.
It's 4 beds. And
Yes.
4 beds.
Yeah.
We just got a few blocks of foam, and we did have to cut them down here and there, and they all sort of slot together like a Tetris thing to make our mattress. But because they are foam and they have been cut and there's corners and such.
Well, it was also pretty much a last-minute decision to get that foam, and it was a question of whether or not it was going to get delivered in time before we left.
Yes.
So I would have done the cushion covers before we left if I'd had more time.
Yeah.
But I didn't. So.
No. But we had the opportunity. We had a week with mains electricity.
Yeah.
You luckily had a very small portable sewing machine, as you do.
I have everything in that van.
Well, the other thing, we put nets over the windows in the back.
Yes, to prevent insects, because we knew that the weather was going to get warmer.
Yes.
So we'd want the windows open more.
Yeah. The other thing, the windows, we want them open, and we don't want insects getting in, but also we don't want the cat getting out.
Yes.
So we could have the windows open in the back and have Dargo untethered. She has a lead that when we have the door open,
Yeah.
and we can attach her there, and so she can get out and she can roam around. and get caught under the wheels and all sorts. Not while we're moving, just to clarify. But this means we can have the windows open in the back and not worry about her trying to get out.
Yeah.
So we did that, and yeah, like you say, glued a few bits of the rest of the van back together.
Yeah.
Because this was obviously the week after the crash, which again we covered in the previous episode. We found out some things had shifted.
Yeah, a lot of things had shifted. The entire kitchenette had shifted forwards.
So we got to all that, and then say the 30th, we packed up.
Yeah.
And we left, heading on. Our next big stop was Gibraltar. So we essentially just made our way down the coast. And as it was our first day back in the van, as we always do whenever the van's been under, it's almost tradition now. Whenever the van's had any serious work done or a period of inactivity, we put it through its paces.
Oh yes.
Which is probably drastically shortening the lifespan of the thing.
Yeah, it's the best thing. You just jump straight into the deep end, isn't it?
So we ended up going south. Now I've had to look all this up. We went south around Almeria, which is a town, and up along the southern edge of the Sierra Nevada National Park.
Yeah.
Now I remember there were very steep hills and mountains. I remember that being a fantastic drive getting up there.
Drive.
Absolutely. Once you came off the main roads.
Yeah.
Like tough roads for the van, but absolutely
amazing.
Yeah, like every corner.
That's where we saw the sheep.
Yes.
As well.
Well, I was going to get to that. There was. So the road we were on, I don't know if you remember, it was right on the edge, so it's halfway up a steep hill, and above us was the Sierra Nevada National Park.
Yes.
Below us wasn't.
Yeah.
So we were right on it, sort of thing. And yeah, the twisty roads going up into mountain villages.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we had to stop. It was just once, wasn't it?
Once or twice?
I think it was twice. Yeah. For just shepherds bringing their herds of sheep down the road. You just sort of come around a corner. Oh, there's some sheep. Oh, there's loads of sheep. Oh, okay, that's a sea of sheep. And there's like a small army of dogs sort of keeping them, and the farmers just like, ciao.
Ciao, wrong country.
Oh, there's wrong country, isn't it? What are they saying?
Hola.
Hola. There you go. Good lord. I've been in Greece too long. I've lost all my...
Ciao is not in Greece either.
No, I know, but I've lost all... It's just eradicated all my previous knowledge.
I see. You've had to make space in your brain.
I've had to make space in my brain for other Greek words I can't remember. Yeah, so that was quite something.
Yeah, that was cool.
Annoyingly, that was the one that my camera, the dash cam ran out of battery.
Yeah.
Before we got there, or lost the footage or something, I can't remember.
I think there were two very awkward selfies of me, because I was driving that day. Two very awkward selfies of me leaning half out of the van with sheep right behind me and surrounding the van. If my face didn't look half as stupid, I'd have put them on the internet. But no.
At least send them to me.
I can send them to you.
And I'll put them on the internet.
Yeah, but then you'll put them on the internet.
No, we ended up stopping in a village called Juviles. Uvies, not sure. And that was the one. There's like a plateau.
Yes,
that just sticks out from the village. So you're outside of the village, and there's just sheer cliffs around this car park, and just the valleys and the mountains you can see, and it's just like you're up on top of a mountain.
It's an amazing stop.
It was absolutely amazing.
It's quite unassuming. You come into the town, and you've got to turn down what seems to be like the driveway of a hotel.
Yeah, like for deliveries or something.
Yeah. But you go through a few of the houses.
Yeah.
Past a few garages, and then you get to this car park.
Yeah.
The plateau bit, like you said.
Which has, again, thankfully to the municipality, just goes to reinforce what we said last week, that Spain is so accommodating.
Yeah.
For motorhomes and campervans, it had a water point and a black water dumping facilities. Exactly. So they encouraged the people to go there. It was absolutely fantastic.
It was awesome.
It was just such a good stop.
Yeah.
It just really that was what we needed after a week of not being in the van.
Yeah.
Coming back to that and waking up to that, it was like, yeah, this is why we got a van.
Yeah.
This is what it's for.
Yeah.
So it was the following day, January 31st. No, December 31st. I'm going to remember the date at some point. Yeah, let's stop doing that.
Last week it was your name.
Yeah, let's do the dates. So we woke up and we needed plans for New Year's Eve.
Yes.
New Year's Eve in the van. What were we going to do? And we had a look. and we saw that there were some spots that appeared to be overlooking the city of Granada, which was about a short day's drive from where we were.
Yeah.
So we headed further along the mountains, and then down to the bottom of the valleys, and then back up the other side, some other mountains. Eventually coming out onto one of the main roads that goes up to Granada, which overlooks that huge lake with a dam on it. Remember?
Yes.
Dam Ruels.
Okay.
It's spelled rules.
Oh, I see.
And it goes damn rules. Damn rules.
Okay.
And we saw it, and I remember, I think, were you driving?
I was driving.
You were driving, because I think I looked up. Yeah, I think you were, so I looked up, and yeah, there is a parking spot on that dam. Oh no, we didn't know, so we had to sort of, because we were going to get on the main road, we sort of had to go the opposite direction of Granada to get onto that main road.
Yes.
And that led us by the road that leads to the dam. And we could see a motorhome parked there. So we thought, right, we'll go there, we'll have lunch. So we did, and just had a look at the dam, and it was, I think dams are something amazing. I think
they are quite cool.
I know they're not natural at all, but they're always surrounded by nature, by their design. You know, there's always lakes, and I think they're a fascinating thing. And by chance, it happened that the motorhome we pulled up next to had British number plates on it.
Yeah.
And it was, I'm gonna feel bad now because I can't remember their names. Something like,
now that you said it, it's gone from my head as well.
One of them was called, I think he was called Mel.
Yes, Mel and Judy.
Judy, there you go.
Yes.
So I was thinking Mel and Sue. I was like, no, they're famous.
No, Mel and Judy.
Yeah, Mel and Judy.
They're lovely.
Yeah, and as you do, you end up to us, so they wanted to know, because they just come to Spain for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And they were asking us about our trip. Of course, we told them where we'd be and things like that.
Russia.
On the way to Morocco.
So how did you come? How did you get to Spain? Did you go through France? Yes, through Russia.
Yes, the long way through France. No, we're not. But it's one of those you end up. It gets to a point where you're like, right, I kind of want to wrap this up because we want to get going.
Yeah, I've got lunch on.
Yeah, we've got lunch on, but also you don't want to be rude.
No, it was okay. I think they were doing stuff anyway, so yeah. It was alright.
Yeah, but it was just nice to have a bit of, well, I was about to say a conversation with people where there's no language barrier, but then Judy was, I'll say Oriental.
Yeah,
so I don't get it wrong.
Asian, I can't remember where from.
So English was, I mean, she was as good as English as anybody else like we sort of speak to.
Yeah.
But you get clearly there were some words you didn't understand, sort of thing. But it is nice when you do meet after so long another English person, you just have a conversation, and there's no language barrier. I don't know. I like it sometimes, except for that one.
That's your Britishness coming out there, dear.
Yeah, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. But no, that was nice. That bit of a chat. And then we carried on. Although he did actually give some good security advice for campervans and motorhomes. Get a dog and bring the dog with you. And then put a warning sign on the door saying you have a dog.
Yeah.
And that tends to put people off. So yeah, security tip: get a dog.
Maybe that's part of the reason why so many van lifers have dogs.
Maybe. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But then you need to get a sign to say there's a dog, otherwise someone's going to break in and see the dog and then.
Yeah. Don't know.
Whatever. Anyway, so
just have a sign.
We went off to Granada. The spot we'd found on Park for Night didn't overlook the city.
No.
But we saw a spot where there were some cars parked, so we sort of drove up and parked there. It wasn't a spot on Park for Night, so I added it as one. Because another motorhome came and joined us. We didn't speak to them because we were just
Well, it was New Year's Eve.
It was New Year's Eve, so no, we're going to sit. We had a bottle of sangria.
Yeah.
Just sat in the van, watching.
It's probably the calmest New Year's Eve I've had in such a long time.
Yes, certainly.
But it was something that was one of those moments where you're just like, damn, I'm sat in Spain overlooking Granada and we're watching fireworks go off just from a van, having sangria.
Yeah.
And this is what we do now.
Well, we had, It was a very pleasant evening.
Yeah.
Sit and watch. There was some fireworks because unfortunately it wasn't like midnight boom and then all the fireworks.
No.
Seems nobody really has their watches set to the same time, so they sort of go up in spurts.
Yeah.
But we had wanted to go to Granada. We'd heard so much about, because I think in Granada they have special. Well, that's one of the big places to go.
Yeah, for New Year's.
And Spain just goes all out for New Year's. But a recurring theme that we mentioned in the last episode: Spanish cities in a motorhome or campervan. It's not a good mix.
No, they're not the safest things.
Not the safest thing. We would have had to spend an hour walking from a spot someone had put up next to a police station.
Yeah.
And I thought we don't want to deal with it. And you just parked on the side of the road. So we chose for a more sedentary evening, parked in a field, woke up the next day.
Yeah.
And one thing I always remember about that morning was there was like a layer of haze above Granada.
That's all the smoke from the fireworks.
Yeah, it was just like, ooh, okay, that's don't show the environmentalists that. I'm sure they're fully aware of it. So that was it. We were now in 2020. What a wonderful year it would be. So much potential. We thought that 8 or 9 months of travelling to different countries.
Still had something like 30 odd countries on the list to go and see. Yeah, we can do that before September. We've had a good run so far.
Oh my word. Wonder how many people thought, right, 2020 is going to be my year.
Maybe it has been.
Although it did start on a good note because we just got our Catavan stickers.
Oh yes, we got
them. Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah, your parents brought them.
We had them ordered to my parents' house. They brought them out with us. So we stuck them all around the van.
Yeah, we did that New Year's Day before we left.
We did. So yeah, we had stickers. That's all we needed. 2020 off to a good start.
Yeah.
So we carried on. Again, our goal now, we wanted to get to Gibraltar.
Yes.
Spend a couple of days there before heading on the ferry to Morocco. So we were just heading. That's just where we were going. And first stop we got to from Granada, ended up just outside Marbella. Or Marbella, depending on how you pronounce it. It's Marbella, sorry. And that was the one. There's like permanent people there.
Yes.
So
that was the one near the sea, but not quite.
Well, no, you're like a minute walk.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
From
like
from the sea.
You weren't looking at the sea, but you were there. Yeah.
Yeah. So you come off like a big dual carriageway. It seems to bypass Marbella. And you go along a dirt track, and then you're just in this big. Well, it's not open. There's trees dotted around, but it's all a dirt car park basically.
Yeah.
And there are some some of the artwork people have painted on the side of their vans.
I know.
From vans from all over the place, all different shapes, sizes, makes, ages. But there was quite clearly a permanent, or at least semi-permanent, residency there.
Yeah.
There were people. You could just tell by the way they were all set up and the way the vans were. Like they don't move much. There's washing hanging out. There's heavy duty furniture and stuff out and about, awnings, things like that. Which it's a bit more populated than we try to be for places.
Yeah.
But then that does come. There is an element of security to that.
Yes.
But also, if you go to a place and you're the only visitor, then that's less of a security. But more of a security risk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't like the fact that we think like that, but we've been broken into in Sweden, so you kind of on edge whenever. But we went down to the beach. We did not go in because it's still January 1st.
Yeah.
It's still
it was choppy though, if I remember correctly. It was quite choppy that day.
It was quite choppy, yeah.
But
we were back to sort of slightly chillier weather.
Yeah.
Because it's January. It's the start of January, so the year it is going to be a bit colder. And we slept there, and then.
I think that's where there was that absolutely massive motorhome, which had 2 or 3 cats. They climbed out of the roof vent and sat on top there.
Sat on the top of the van, yeah.
I remember that. That was.
That's what, because Dargo made eye contact, didn't she?
Yeah.
And she was just looking at them. And just look.
Yeah, it's fine.
They're on their van.
It's okay.
You leave them be. You're in yours. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then we carried on along. That's when they started getting all along the coast as we were driving down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we stopped just outside Santa Margarita.
Oh yes.
On the beach.
On the beach, yeah, that was a cool spot.
That was a cool spot. During the day, you have people going up and down on quad bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, people use that beach. It's a really good beach. It's a long, sandy beach.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of noise during the day, but at night it was absolutely silent, and you've got excellent views of the Rock of Gibraltar.
Yeah.
Because they light it up at night,
Mm.
and you can just see that whole side of it.
Yeah. And the perma-cloud above it.
The permacloud. There is always, whenever we've seen Gibraltar, there has always been a cloud above it.
Yeah.
Just one.
Just one. One giant cloud the size of Gibraltar is always above Gibraltar.
Because it's British. And they need to be reminded that it's a British territory.
Do you think they generate the cloud?
I think they must.
So that people don't feel too alienated?
I think the Morrison's delivery trucks bring it when they come. They just bring smog or something. So we're not going to talk about Gibraltar today. No. Gibraltar, I think San Marino,
and
Monaco, and Vatican City.
And Vatican City? Okay.
Yeah, we covered them in. We're going to do a microstate special.
Yes.
We didn't get to do Andorra.
No, which is a shame.
Which is a shame. And are there any others? I think that's all of them, isn't it?
I think so.
But yeah, we'll do a.
There's Liechtenstein.
Oh, there's Liechtenstein. Yeah, we won't be able to do that, will we?
No.
But yeah, we will do a microstate special.
Yeah.
At some point. But we went to Gibraltar. We will say about this though. We parked on the Spanish side of the border. There's a marina. As you follow the road signs to get to the border for Gibraltar, there's a marina car park right next to it.
Yeah.
On the same roundabout. You come off there, and I think it was €12 for 24 hours.
Yes.
And you park there. It's manned all the time. There's a water filling and discharge point, which you can use for free. Had a huge bump on it though.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That really, we kind of struggled to get up there because you could just run at it, but then you'll knacker your suspensions.
Yeah.
That was like driving up a curb.
Yeah.
It was surprisingly big. There are showers there, but they're only for the people who actually rent boats at the marina. There was a laundromat there, which you could use, but we didn't use it. I think one of the machines was out of order as well. But it's about a 15-minute walk to the border.
If that.
Or frontier.
Yeah,
rather.
if that. But it's
and
quite simple.
Yeah, and you've got, if you park facing the rock, you see the rock lit up again.
Yeah.
At night, it's not too. The airport's not very busy.
No.
So we weren't disturbed at all. Yeah, just an ideal spot. You're in secure parking.
Yeah.
Felt very comfortable leaving the van there.
Quite a few other motorhomes and campervans there as well.
Yes, plenty of them.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah, absolutely full of them. It is for that sort of
Yeah.
thing, and you pay when you leave. So you get a ticket when you come in, you pay when you leave. We actually weren't there for a full 24-hour period. Whether one of our 24-hour period wasn't a full 24-hour period.
Yeah.
So we actually ended up paying a little less.
Okay.
Which was nice. Not much less, but you get paid for how long you're there for.
Yeah.
And that's, couldn't ask fairer than that. So on our last day in that spot, so the morning we woke up ready to leave Gibraltar,
Yeah.
we had a leaflet under the windscreen.
Oh yes, yes.
Because you'll get leaflets for ferries to Morocco,
Mhm.
because you're down that part of the country. Just around the bay, the other side of the Bay of Gibraltar is Algeciras. Algeciras run multiple daily ferries.
I think so.
I think multiple daily ferries to
I think
Ceuta.
it's like five a day at least.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Every day.
Yeah.
Between Algeciras and Ceuta,
Mhm.
which is a Spanish city.
Yep.
Is it? Yeah, it must be a city.
Yep.
In Africa.
Yes.
Spain is the only country with existing territories in Africa. The only European country, sorry, with existing territories in Africa. It has Ceuta and the other one.
Melilla. Or Melilla, I think, I'm not sure.
And this place was offering just another ferry company to get tickets over there.
Yes.
But we were going to go around. We decided we'd drive around. We found a place in Algeciras where there was a car park where we could park up. We needed to do a shop, and there was a trading estate to write down where it was. Los Barrios. I think that's the name of the estate.
Yeah.
And it's a huge trading estate. Anything you want. There was a little there which we wanted. There's a Carrefour, but it's one of the huge Carrefours, which has everything. You told me about these. I think we had seen one or two before.
Yeah.
So it's a Carrefour building, but then they have like almost as separate businesses. But now you have like a locksmiths, and you have a greetings card place, and you have a florist, and you have other stuff. There's a McDonald's there are hardware shops, there are garages.
There's a really good discount store there.
Yeah, big discount stores.
I can't remember what it's called. Euro-Asia?
Oh, Euro, yeah,
it's something
like
that. But that is a really, really good shop. It has everything in there.
Yeah.
And it's really cheap as well. So yeah.
Yeah, we got tools, other DIY equipment.
I got stationery.
Stationery. I got a luggage bag.
Yeah.
But that was when we got back from Morocco.
Yes.
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 So we went there just to sort of, okay, we'll go here and then find a place to get ferry tickets. You found a place, turned out to be the place. Oh, no, that wasn't it, sorry. While looking for places, you realised that we'd inadvertently parked just around the corner from the place on the leaflet.
Yes.
Yes. So we drove around there. Now, this place, I hope I wrote the thing. So I wrote all these notes last week because it's a two-parter. No, I didn't write down the name of the place.
Voyage Nomade.
That's why you're here, because you remember these things. Voyage Nomade?
Yes, I think so.
They are on this trading site in Los Barrios. They have a huge car park just outside their shop.
Yeah. It doesn't belong to them, but it doesn't really belong to anybody.
No.
And it's open and unlocked.
It's an unofficial campervan motorhome parking place.
Yeah.
And every day we were there, it was full of people.
It gets, like, I counted at one point and there was 70 other vehicles there, and they are all there for the same reason, because most of them have come down from France. The vast majority were French.
Yeah.
And they'd gone into this travel agency basically.
Yeah.
And bought ferry tickets across to Morocco.
Yeah.
So they do that, sleep the night, in the morning they'll go get on the ferry and go across. But like I said, at one point when we were there were about 70 other vehicles. That
day, because we went in, it's a very little shop, just one guy working there, and you have to pay cash. And there was a free cash point, I think it was, around the corner. And you go in and say, yeah, we want this, and that was, I think it was €180
for an open return.
For an open return, and that means we had like 6 months.
No, a year.
Oh, a year. There you go. We had a year, and say 5 times a day. Yeah. There were ferries. Anyone you want.
Yeah.
Same thing coming back.
Yeah.
Anyone you want, and you get a bottle of wine and a packet of biscuits.
Yeah.
For you.
And it turned, as soon as we entered the door and I saw the chap's face, I realised that I'd watched a YouTube video about the American family. I can't remember what they're called, but about an American family who were travelling around Europe and then went to these guys because somebody had recommended this place to get ferry tickets across to Morocco. Yeah. And as soon as we walked in, I saw the guy's face and I was like, hang on a minute, like I know this, I recognise this place. Came outside and checked it, I was like, okay, cool.
But he was very good, he explained it, he said, yeah, go here, and the packet they gave us, it has photos and maps of the port.
Yes.
To show you where to go.
Yeah, which is handy.
So you get, but we were a bit concerned about the bottle of wine, because we were going to Morocco, which is an Islamic country. So we're like, are we going to be allowed in with this? Because there are limits. We'll go into full Morocco detail when we do the Morocco episode.
Yeah.
But getting in, I think there are limits on how much alcohol you can have.
I think you can take one bottle.
Yeah. But we already had wine, so we had to get rid of some.
Emergency sangria?
Yes. Yeah, but that day there were so many, like you say, there because Morocco is an old French territory.
Yeah. And
they still have a good relation with the French, and French is the widely spoken second language in Morocco. Like there are loads of French people there. No, loads of them had like racing buggies.
Yeah.
And all trailers with like bikes and buggies and things on the back of them. Yeah. So clearly there was something happening. And so we had this, so we could leave at any time we wanted.
Yeah.
So we drove off back of the road, got some LPG, ready for the trip, because Morocco doesn't have LPG.
No.
So we needed LPG. then, got on the ferry, and off we went to Morocco for a month. But that was, we got back, and we were like, okay, we're going to be allowed in with this, because they do, there are limits. We'll go into full Morocco detail when we do the Morocco episode. Yeah. But fast forward to... I did write this down. So the 6th of January is when we left Morocco.
Okay.
No,
left Spain.
Left Spain. God, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Everything today. Do apologise. And we came back on Friday the 7th of February.
Yes.
February, there you go. And we parked up back in that same ticket office because we had some repairs to make to the van.
Yes.
Now we'll get into that full story in one of the Morocco episodes. Morocco is going to be a few episodes. I need to cough, excuse me. Excuse me, clearing my throat. Just thinking of it just gets a lump in my throat. Essentially, the van had a bit of a wobble to it as it drove.
Yeah.
And it was making noises at certain revs. It was, something was clearly wrong. We tried to address the issue in Morocco several times. Couldn't get it done, so we needed it booked. Now, our first thought, as we're in this part of the world, Gibraltar.
Yes.
They speak English. We can probably communicate what's going on. So I think we phoned. You got in touch with the woman, didn't she say it was going to be like a month's wait or something?
2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks wait.
2 weeks wait, and we're like, can't really do that.
Yeah, we didn't want to sit in a car park, a Carrefour car park for 2 weeks, because we wouldn't feel comfortable driving around.
Yeah.
So we thought, no, we can't do that. So then you got... What do you want to tell us?
I found a Renault dealership, which I think there's one on that estate, trading estate.
There was, yes.
But I got a live chat thing with them. My Spanish is okay, but it's not as good when it comes to technical car language. But yes, so I got onto them and basically explained what needed doing or what was wrong. And they said, that's fine, we'll book you in for Monday.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, because we got there on Friday. Yes. So we'll book you in for Monday. So we're like, okay, cool. We can spend a couple of days here.
But that wasn't in the one on the estate, was it?
No. It was... Can't remember the name of the town now.
Chiclana.
There you go. There.
I wrote it down.
Well done.
My memory's terrible.
Yes, which is a short drive further west.
Towards Portugal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was at 9 o'clock, I think, that morning.
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, that's fine. That's about half an hour away from us. We can get there.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah. So we spent the rest of that Friday and the Saturday. That's when we were using the discount store. Buying bits like the kitchen cabinet, because they were all fitted with... I still don't know what to call them. They're like two roller... The fittings to shut the cupboard doors. It's like two wheels that sort of separate and sit around a metal bit on the cabinet door, and the one on the kitchen cabinet had just given up.
Yeah.
They were just not staying shut. We were keeping it shut with duct tape. So we went in and they had little hooks and locks and things like that. So we got a few of these things, got the van sorted so that all the doors wouldn't swing open whenever we were around a corner. And then on the Sunday, we needed to do a wash anyway, and we wanted to be closer to Chiclana, so we didn't have to get up as early in the morning. And I definitely remember this drive. So we drove up just along the coast to Tarifa, and it was a clear day that day. And I remember because you could see the mountains of Africa across the way, and all throughout Morocco on the side of hills and mountains and things, there's Arabic script written in chalk. In the map, and you could see that from Spain. Because when we got to Gibraltar, we got to the southern tip of it, and it was quite hazy. So you could just make out some hills and things. But on this day, round near, I'll just say the name of the place, Tarifa, you could very clearly see. You could see the wind turbines on the next mountains over. And I remember just looking over there, but we were there. We were there. We were the other side of those.
That's
things.
Africa.
We were there. Oh my word. And we found a place. Spain, again, just very accommodating. They had just a self-service laundromat at a petrol station.
Yes.
So we went there, we got that done, and then we went around to another motorhome little car park in Fasinas.
Yeah, that was the tiny one, wasn't it? There was only really space for one or two motorhomes.
No, maybe get about 6 in there, but it was little.
Are we thinking of the same one? The night of the supermoon?
Yeah, that one. Because there was 3... Oh, I suppose, yeah, technically there was only room for about
Yeah, there's three
two or
marked,
three
yeah.
marked spaces, but someone else came in, funnily enough, as we were parked up. Another British plate van pulled in, and they parked over, so not in one of the motorhome spaces, but they don't really, you know, as long as you're not in the way. Can't remember though their names. I remember his wife/girlfriend was Moroccan.
Wife, yes.
Yes, and they live in Morocco?
Most of the year, yes, but I think every so often they drive in their camper van back up towards England.
Yeah.
To see his mum.
Yeah.
And then drive back down to Morocco again, which is a cool life.
Yeah. So it was nice to be, we've been here, and she's like, oh yeah, there's all that.
Yeah.
But also she told us that we apparently got extremely lucky with our border crossings.
Really? Oh yes.
Yeah, because
time-wise,
because we came in through Ceuta and we waited about an hour to get back in, an hour and a half maybe, in a queue, which we thought was quite bad. And she was, I think a week before, she was saying she'd spoken to someone, it took them like 8 hours to get through there. So we had been incredibly lucky. We were moaning about the wait times there. Apparently we got it so lucky. And we saw footage of people when the whole COVID thing started being kicked out of Morocco, and the queue there was where people were sleeping in their vans.
People were there for days.
It was quite nice of it. Oh yeah, we've been to Morocco, you know, because we'd spent a month with telling her where we'd been and what we'd seen, all the rest of it. And then there was a supermoon that night.
There was a supermoon. I did take pictures.
There's one of those, you kind of look out the window and you think, oh, there is a street light. Oh no, it's the moon. Okay, fine. Yeah. So we get up the next morning quite early. The sun was still coming up, as I recall.
Yes.
And we drove to Chiclana, to the garage. Do you want to tell this bit?
We got to the garage, went inside, found a parking space outside very difficultly, but went inside and they're like, yeah, okay, sure, bring it in. And then two of them came outside and were just like, hang on a minute, you're not going to fit in our workshop. We're like, what? It's like, I told you what the vehicle was.
So this is a Renault dealership.
Yes.
And we've rocked up, we've told them that we're coming in a 1999 Renault Master.
Yeah.
We've told them the exact,
everything.
Model number, everything. And they didn't realise that it's too tall to fit in there.
I don't think it was too tall,
No?
Looking at the thing, I don't think, looking at the entrance.
Yeah.
I don't think it was too tall, but hey ho.
Yeah, they say we're not
They
gonna.
know better.
Yeah, we're not gonna try. So
it might have been that we might have been able to get it in the entrance, but they didn't have the space inside, like the height in the warehouse.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So when they raise up.
Yeah, quite possibly. That makes more sense.
Yeah, that might have been the issue.
So we sort of drove around the corner, parked up somewhere.
Yeah.
And then you got back onto the live chat thing, didn't you?
Yeah. It's like, I had this appointment, but they say we're too big to fit in the warehouse. Can I go anywhere else? And they're like, we can send you to Cadiz.
Yeah, same day.
Yeah, can you get there today by this time? It's like, yeah, alright, we'll be there. Like.
Yeah. So off we went to Cadiz, which then, I should remember this. Isn't it the third oldest city in Europe or something?
I think it's something like that.
I think they claim to be the oldest.
The oldest,
I'm sure it claimed they were the oldest city in Europe, but they're not. That's somewhere in Bosnia.
Yeah.
Or Bulgaria. I think Bulgaria.
Bulgaria, I think.
But Cadiz is one of the oldest cities in the world. And we drove over there. So it wasn't far, it's up the main roads. We found the Renault dealership.
Oh god, yeah.
We drove past it about 7 times because it's on a very small road on which turns into a one-way system.
Yeah.
When you get so far on it. So you can't just turn around and there's no car park for it.
No.
So if there's not space on the side of the road and it's in amongst a lot of other dealerships.
Yes.
So you've got no chance.
No.
So we just have to keep going around.
Didn't spot the vehicle entrance till about our 5th go round anyway.
Yeah.
Because there was a van parked outside.
Yeah, delivery vans parked
Exactly, parked in front of the dealership. So we didn't spot that there was this narrow entrance to get in.
And then I think the first time we did sort of have, he was out of the way so we could get in, we pulled in and then a woman was coming out. Because you get in there and then it's just a long car corridor into their indoor car park. And a woman was coming out of there. And like, well, now we've got to back up back onto this road.
Exactly, where there's traffic and everything.
That was hellish.
That was not fun. I was driving.
Yes, you were. But we eventually got in.
We did.
And I think it was the manager ended up coming out to speak to us.
Yes.
and he went for, because he spoke the most English.
Yeah.
And he went for, you took him, well, he drove it out with you, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he could see what was going on.
Yeah, we just went a couple of junctions on the nearby motorway.
Yeah.
I think.
And then he brought him back, and then I think he said 3 days. Oh no, they were saying
5 days.
5 days, yeah.
Yeah, so it takes them 2 or 3 days to get the parts in, and then 2 or 3 days to fit them all and get everything ready.
They'll be ready by. So this is on the Monday morning.
Yeah.
They'll be ready by Friday. So we got some stuff, and we were probably about half an hour walk.
Yeah.
To the beach. Cadiz is a huge, long, beautiful beach, and it's February, so no one's there. It's the off season. So we had to take Dargo to the beach, which is lug a load of stuff up there, and then we were just looking for an Airbnb or a hotel or something.
Yeah. For
the week. We eventually found one, and then we had to walk back to the van to get a week's worth of stuff. Now, luckily, we just bought a luggage bag.
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to be flying home in March for a wedding, so I needed a bag for the plane. We bought for that, so that meant we could get stuff. And we were going to get an Uber or something to get us across the city, but we ended up just walking.
Well, yeah, because of that one-way system, it meant that we'd have to wait for longer than it would have taken us to just walk it.
Yeah. By the time we'd got a taxi, we would have been at the place. And it wasn't in Cadiz, it wasn't in the old town of Cadiz.
No.
Like Cadiz is quite like, it's kind of like a tomahawk steak, in that it's very narrow at the one end and then it sort of opens out.
Oh, I see.
Bulges at the top.
Yeah.
And that's historic Cadiz. But we were staying on the thin bit, the main road that goes up. And we got in, and it was a nice enough flat.
Yeah, it was quite nice.
On like the 8th floor or something, quite high up, so a nice little balcony you could sit in. And we had Wi-Fi, we had power, we had the cat could run around.
Yeah, and she did.
And she did. And then I think it was that first day when we got the bad. Was it that day or the next day that we got the bad news?
It was that day when we went to pick stuff up.
Oh, it was, we were there, so what was it? What did they found?
So the manager guy had correctly pinpointed what the issue was, because he said that it was something to do with the transmission arm. Which, sure, he got that. So by the time we went back to pick up our stuff to go to the flat, they'd taken the left-hand side? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the left-hand side of the front apart. And from the gearbox out to the wheel, that arm, the axle, basically where it joins onto the gearbox, that hub had no bearings in it. What replaced the bearings was a hose pipe.
Well, they didn't know that at this point.
Did they not? No, they sent pictures afterwards, didn't they? Sorry, spoilers. There were no bearings in it, so they're like, well, that's what's making the noise, that's what's making the van vibrate and shake. So, best case scenario, they just changed the transmission and that sorts it. Worst case, because there's no bearings in there, where have they gone? And if they've disintegrated, then they're in the gearbox. If they're in the gearbox, you're either going to need a new gearbox or to recondition this one. So in that case, what you're looking at is somewhere around the 2,000 to 3,000 euro mark.
And that was just for that, wasn't it? Just for the reconditioning
of the gearbox.
On top of all the other work.
On top of everything else. So that was a big blow.
That was
terrifying.
It felt almost as low then as after we got robbed. Because that's like, working on a £1,000 a month budget. That's 3 months. Well, with all the other work, it's almost 4 months off the trip.
Worth,
so we'd have had to go home in April. Which
we
wouldn't have been able. Maybe. But no, imagine if we thought, okay, we'll carry on until April. And then we got stuck in the pandemic. We'd have had no money. But no, that's getting ahead of ourselves. So, yeah, we had some stressful days, just worrying.
Well, this was the thing, we weren't going to find out how bad it was for another 2 or 3 days because I had to wait for the parts to come in.
Yeah.
Try and put those parts in and then test it and find out to see whether or not it worked.
Yeah.
And I think they were going to open up the gearbox to have a look or something like that as well. I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
So we had to wait a few days. So you've got a few days of just sitting there and
Worrying.
stressing.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out how to make this already stretched budget
Yeah.
because of everything else that's been going on,
Yeah.
stretch even further, and having the difficult discussion of
When do we
just go home? When
Yeah.
do we call it a day?
Yeah.
But
So unfortunately because of that, we did not take advantage of the fact we were in Cadiz.
no.
That's one of the, I mean, under the circumstances, I understand why we didn't, but I do wish we'd gone to
That we
Cadiz
had, yeah.
because it looked really cool, really nice.
Yeah.
But we were just not in the, oh, let's go out and spend money. No, we can't spend any money.
Well, this is the other thing. Like, we'd have gone to Cadiz, but we would not have enjoyed it.
No, we wouldn't have been in the
We
right
were
headspace.
not exactly. We were not at all in the right headspace for it, and that's unfair on the city.
Yeah.
You know.
But instead, we had Wi-Fi and electricity, so I was catching up, just making loads of videos, so being ahead of myself on those. And you started learning a bit of coding.
I did.
You did.
Expanding my skills.
But then on the Thursday, I think it was, we got sent the news that they hadn't, because they couldn't find the bearings. Their assumption was they disintegrated and got in the gearbox. But when they opened it up, they found out that no, the bearings had been removed and replaced with hose pipe.
Yes, the red piece of hose
Yes,
pipe.
they cut off a bit of hose pipe and put that in there. So they knew, therefore, that the bearings were not in the gearbox.
Yeah.
That's not what was causing it, so we didn't need that work done.
Mm-hmm.
So they put it all back together. The van they also gave the van a service.
Kinda, not really, but yeah.
Well, it's interesting that anyone in the UK knows, like, you take your car for a service.
Mm-hmm.
Is it either once a year or after 10,000 miles?
Yeah, I think so.
Either every
12,000 miles.
Either every 10 to 12,000 miles or every year.
Yeah.
You take it for a service, and that's just what you call it, and everyone knows what that is. And that's, I don't even know what it is. I know they change your oil.
Oil filter, basically any filters.
Any
Fuel
filters, yeah.
Air filters. They check all your fluids and air levels.
Yeah.
Your headlights, brakes.
Yeah.
Brake pads, discs, everything like that is checked.
Yeah.
In that.
So
but
any,
that is a major service. That's the
that's the major service. Yeah. But no one else knows. Like you ask for a service in any other country, because obviously they all have different names for it.
Yeah.
So they're like, yes, this is a service. We service vehicles here. Yes. What do you mean?
What service would you like?
What service would you like? But luckily there was a guy there who understood what we meant.
Yeah.
He obviously spent some time in England, and he told them, and they're, oh yes, of course, yes. And then,
but this is the interesting thing. So that, like, using the word service for doing that, for the maintenance of your vehicle, must be a British thing.
Yes.
Because in Pakistan, if you walk up to a garage and you say, I need a major service, they'll know.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Just a leftover thing.
I wonder if
I wonder if they picked that up. The cat has just been scratching herself by her collar, and that's what that noise was. So yes, we got that done. Very friendly chap.
Amazing people.
The thing I liked about that, because you're dealing with a dealership. Now, I've always avoided going to dealerships because they usually charge more.
Yeah, they do.
But this Renault one, and I imagine it's all Renault dealerships, you have to log on to their system online.
Yes.
But then they can send you videos of the work they're doing to your vehicle.
Yeah.
So they were saying it's like full high def videos of, this is the van, this is what we found.
Yeah.
And they were sending us photos and videos and descriptions of what was happening, what was being done.
I know in the UK Toyota do that as well.
Yeah.
So maybe it's an industry-wide thing now?
Maybe it is, maybe dealerships do it, So you do pay extra for it, but you get, that's something.
That's the trade-off, isn't it?
So we were back on the road again. But we didn't take the van over any mountains this
You
time.
sure?
Well, a little bit because we went back to Algeciras, didn't we?
Oh,
we
true, yeah.
kind of cut across the middle of the country.
We spent a lot of time in that one car
We
park.
did spend a lot of time in that one car park. We just went back there. Thought, okay, we'll go. Because I think we needed to do another shop because we'd been away for a week. And no, because we didn't do a shop in Algeciras, did we? Because we were going to go shopping in Morrison's.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
In Gibraltar.
In Gibraltar. So we drove over to Algeciras and we slept. No, we didn't. Why did we go over to Algeciras again?
Probably just to stop there for the night.
Oh yeah, then we went to Gibraltar. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting my nights mixed up. Yeah, so we went there to spend the night. The next morning we got up because we knew that there's a queue to get in Gibraltar during the day. So we wanted to get there early when there's no queue. So we did that, we got in, we got asked why we were visiting Gibraltar today. Morrison's.
We go to Morrison's.
So, oh, so you're coming back out then? Yeah, like we've come all this way. Went to Morrison's, found out it's heinously expensive there.
Yes.
But you can get cheap English breakfast tea bags.
Yes, which Carrefour tea bags are awful.
Yes.
We bought them before going to Morocco, hadn't we?
Yeah.
And my God, they are terrible.
You need like 2 Carrefour English breakfast tea. You need about 2 tea bags to get a proper strength cup of tea out of it. So we thought, right, Morrison's is here. We'll get some proper tea bags. We'll get some, baked beans, which you can get in Europe, but they're a bit less common.
Yeah.
And I wanted a pork pie because they don't do them anywhere. Absolutely anywhere.
Well, also because the day before going to Gibraltar was Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So
and we hadn't done anything for
so
that because we were so stressed out about everything.
So, oh God, I remember. Because then we went to the cafe at the Morrison's.
Yeah.
And they didn't have anything.
No.
So you wanted vegetarian sausages.
Yep.
We haven't got any. Like the store didn't have any. It's like. There'll be some on the next delivery. Oh, where along the coast of Portugal is that delivery now? Like, as it comes round on the tanker. Yeah, they didn't have any. I think they didn't have any orange juice.
No.
In the cafe. So,
And then
all right.
I went for something else, but just said don't put any meat sausages on there.
Yeah.
And they brought it out with meat sausages, and I was like, I'm really sorry, this has got meat on it. I specifically wanted no meat on this, please.
And then we came out of Gibraltar, then we parked on the same beach at Santa Margarita.
We did?
Because it's just a really nice spot.
It is a very nice spot, yes. The drive to that beach is a bit of hell.
They're just huge. It's like they're developing it, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're going to start building probably houses or offices.
They are developing it, but there's lots of roundabouts.
Huge speed bumps.
Lots and lots of speed bumps, and they're massive ones as well. So it's a bit, not fun for the suspension.
Not great.
Or your spines.
So then after that, our sort of main goal now was to get to Italy.
Yes.
But we're in the south of Spain. So we didn't want to go up the coast. We discussed which way to go up.
Yeah.
We'd sort of written off Madrid at this point
Mm-hmm.
because of the campervan situation.
And it was too far towards the middle of the country, so we'd go too far in to then come back out, and that wasn't really sensible.
We'd also decided against Portugal for some reason. Oh, I know why.
We said we'd do Portugal on the way back.
Yeah. Plus the fact we needed to be... I had a flight booked.
Yes.
From Athens for the start of March. Early March.
Was it early? Mid-March?
Whenever it was.
Yeah.
March.
Yeah, March.
And so we had to get to Athens for then. So I could get back to my mate's wedding. So we thought we won't do Portugal. Although we've since found out Portugal is very... They don't like campervans.
They've become more anti-campervan in recent years.
Like if you're on a campsite, fine.
Yeah.
But they don't really
Not
want
wild
them there.
camping.
No, too many people, and I can understand it. We've seen it. People go and they mistreat. We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
People go and mistreat areas they stop in. It creates anti-camper mentalities, and that's what's happened in Portugal.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But we didn't want to go back up the coast we came up because that would then mean going past Valencia, and I just had bad.
Just avoiding that for now.
Bad mojo all around it, yeah. So we went up through the mountains towards Ronda.
Yes, because I found that that was a really nice spot. But no, first, near Sierra Nevada, were the springs that we've been recommended by folks in Morocco.
That was after Ronda.
Was that after?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's on the list.
Sorry.
It's on the list.
My apologies.
I got it. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Do apologise.
I can't remember.
Will warn you though, Dargo has seen a fly.
Yeah.
And it's directly above us, so we might get jumped on in a minute.
You may dive on the microphone.
Yeah.
I really wish I'd written down the name of the mountains that we drove through, because like on the edge of Sierra Nevada, just again magnificent views, mountainside villages.
Was that the village where we stopped on a viewpoint and it looked over the village, the white village? Yeah, that was beautiful, wasn't it?
Which was also the first time we saw a sparse sparrowtail butterfly. Scarce sparrowtail butterfly.
Yes.
Which they're huge. They look like kites.
They are kite shaped and they kind of float.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're flying. They're just sort of like assisted gliding or something. But we've seen that was the first time we saw them, not far from Rhondda, and we saw them all over the place, all around. We have them around this house now. Yeah. In Greece,
it's kind of nice that there's a little sparrowtail just hanging out.
Yeah.
Around the house.
They're really cool looking butterflies. So then we went to Rhondda.
Yes.
There was a space.
Beautiful.
Yeah, space just outside of Rhondda. You could park up on the road for free. There were a couple of other vans there.
Yeah.
And we walked in, and Rhondda is another one of those ancient cities, isn't it?
Yes.
So you have the old town and the new town, and of course it's famous for that huge bridge. Well, it's not a huge bridge, widthwise.
No.
It's just there's a very sudden drop.
Yeah. So it's a bridge that connects two massive pillars. No, I've lost. Language is gone.
God, yeah, I don't know. There's a huge.
There's a cavern.
Yeah, there's a huge.
It's
no, canyon.
Canyon.
Cavern's like a cave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, language is gone.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, it's like a canyon with pretty sure there's a river.
Yeah. Peninsulas.
At the bottom.
Connecting two peninsulas.
Is that the word?
Maybe. It's on top of a steep hill. You're really high up. There's a sheer cliff down the one side, and there's a big gap between these two masses of land at the top, and there's this bridge that spans it, and there is a river and some little waterfalls running beneath it. And
annoyingly, in order to get the best view of that bridge, you need to be at the bottom.
Yeah.
And everything that we'd seen about going down there is a road and viewpoints down there, but everything we'd seen about that said that there was a really, really steep road.
Yeah.
And really narrow road, and yet it did look very narrow from where we were.
It's not proper tarmac either.
No.
So we weren't in a suitable vehicle for that.
No. So if you've got a 4x4, go right ahead.
Go to the bottom of the hill, get a good look at the bridge.
Yeah.
And then we just walked around the old town, didn't we? And that was, so you had the old, there was the what do you call it, the bull ring? Which is a shopping centre to me.
No, it has a bull in the middle. Yeah,
there's a bull in the middle where they have those things, probably still. But because it was still fairly busy, because it was the off season. COVID was in the news.
Yeah, but wasn't really a thing.
Only as much as, at that point, it was like the Ebola virus. It's like, this is the thing people are worried about. Okay.
Yeah. Fine. Just like, but it's like nowhere near us, so we're not particularly
no one
about
really. I think Italy was like, a couple of people are getting sick at the moment. What's going on?
Yeah.
So there was still a fair few people there. One thing I did like about the old town by the sheer cliff on the one side is there's quite a few viewpoints.
Yes.
And platforms that actually extend out. Which I know you're not big on.
I'm not a big
I'm a big fan of that sort of. So of course people are just waiting to get on the corner so they can get photos without anybody else in them, sort of thing. Yeah, we just had a good wander around the old town, didn't we? We didn't go in anywhere.
No.
But it's another one where you can sort of get lost in the maze-likeness of it.
Yeah, it was a very nice atmosphere as well. I remember there's lots of music around.
Yeah.
No street performance and
stuff. Yeah. Well, this would have been it was a Saturday, wasn't it? So it would have been quite a nice. Yeah, just that sort of vibe. Yeah. So there were tourists there, but not a lot because it's the off season.
Yeah.
So it's ideal, really. Ideal sort of time to go. And then we didn't drive too far that night. We sort of drove back out into the mountains a little bit, and that's when we stopped. So the mountain road is sort of twisting and turning, and then it sort of comes up and curves round this bit of land, and then goes back down the other side. And you can park on the hill that the road goes round.
Yeah.
So you're in the middle of a valley beneath two mountains.
Yeah.
So either side of you, I mean, we watched the sun go down over the one side of us.
Yeah.
And thinking, well, it's perfect. So then that will come up on the other side of us.
Not quite.
Not quite. Maybe in the middle of summer, yes.
Yeah.
But in middle of winter, no, because the sun doesn't come directly opposite that time of year. So we were actually one of the last places to get any sun, which meant for a very chilly morning.
It did.
But that was when, in the morning, we had the griffin vultures.
Yes.
Huge.
We'd seen some when we got there that evening. Do you remember there was a pair of them, and they were sat on a little outcrop on the edge of the mountain behind us.
Yeah.
And that's the first time we saw some vultures.
Yeah.
In the wild. It was so cool.
But then in the morning, there was a lot of them.
There was,
And they looked like they were coming over the top of the mountain, weren't they?
A flock.
A herd.
I feel like a murder of vultures is more appropriate than a murder of crows.
I'd be inclined to call them a squadron because when they were flying, they weren't flapping their wings.
No, they were in a formation.
They just did a group, and it's like they're like bomber planes coming over. And
a squadron of vultures.
And we got a little bit concerned because they're huge birds.
They are massive.
So we put Dargo back in the van.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Well, they did go away after we put Dargo in the van.
Yeah.
So clearly
they started coming over a little bit, showing interest, and then they went away again when we put them back in. But there was an information board up there which talked about that told us they were griffin vultures.
Yeah.
So we were in a national park area. Oh, there's the cat. Plod, plod, plod. Talking about you getting eaten.
Doesn't care.
And just sat down. Okay.
No.
There was an information board about all the different types of birds that were there,
Mm-hmm.
and the griffin vultures. She was like, we've actually seen vultures.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And so this is on a Sunday, and this is when we went to the hot springs.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So this was back towards, not far from Granada, and they're called Termas de Santa Fe.
Yes.
So Santa Fe is the name of the nearest town, I suppose,
Yes.
or something like that. And there were just some hot springs that we've been told about,
Mm-hmm.
and they're a little bit off the beaten track.
Yeah.
So I have to go over
Getting
these
there
hills.
was easier than getting back.
Getting there was easy, but it's kind of again, it's one of these. There are people permanently there,
Yeah.
and they've built a little, almost like a shanty town for themselves.
Yeah.
But there were lots of other camper vans there, sort of parked further away,
Mm-hmm.
just there to enjoy the hot springs. It's a little bit weird. That's my first naturist experience.
Mine too.
Like, it wasn't for specifically naturists,
Mhm.
but people just walking around naked.
Yeah.
And that's
I
fine.
think
that's what
also
they
it's
do.
like a British thing. You're not quite used to. Well, you as a British person, me coming from a Muslim background,
Yeah.
just seeing, naked people out and about is like,
It's like
I don't know where to look. I'm really sorry.
maintain eye contact, fix eye contact, don't look at anything else.
And then you're worried about having too intense eye contact.
It was fairly quiet. We were looking around because there was a couple of pools and then some waterfalls which people were chilling out in, like the splash pools. And we did find a little pool that was empty.
Yeah.
So we had it to ourselves, and it was still warm.
Yeah,
It was still kind of like a jacuzzi would be a little bit warmer, but not much.
Yeah.
That was the warmest outside water I'd ever been in.
Yeah.
And we had that to ourselves for a good long while, actually.
We did, yeah.
It wasn't particularly deep. Like if you sat down on your bum, it maybe come up to your belly button,
Yeah.
sort of thing. No, it's deeper than that. That's a lie.
It,
So I could just about submerge myself if I was lying down.
yeah.
But that was great. Just nice to sitting in there, just relaxing. And it is.
It is relaxing.
So relaxing and nice, yeah. But then there was the awkward bit. We were about to get out, like we were there. And should we get out? Yeah, we'll get out in a minute. And then another couple came in. No, we were in our swimming trunks, or swimming clothes, and another couple turned up with their dog, and they both just stripped off completely naked and got in. And I think we both, without saying it, sort of thought, like, if we get out now, it looks like we're uncomfortable.
Yeah. But we weren't.
But we weren't.
That's the thing.
I think that's another British thing. It's like we don't want them to think that we're uncomfortable. It doesn't matter, thinking about it, like, because we're never. But we didn't want them to think they were making us uncomfortable.
Exactly, because then that would make them
Then
uncomfortable.
we didn't want them to feel better. We were like, okay, we'll just leave. And it's like, okay, cool.
We waited for a little bit.
We did for a bit, and then we left.
And then we left.
And then we got lost trying to get out because he's so far off the beaten track. Sat-nav doesn't know
where
you are. And it was telling us to go down a road, but then this dirt track, and we came around a corner, and it was just puddles.
Yeah.
But it was one big one.
Yeah.
We didn't know how deep it was. That, well, that's mud.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
No.
So we'll turn around and go this other way. And it was so... Because it was dried dirt.
Yeah.
And it had just been churned up. It was like... There was just enough space for wheels to get over, but you had, like, there was drops either side.
Yeah.
Nothing sheer, no, nothing that the van wasn't going to roll or anything, but you could get stuck in these
No,
little
if the wheel went in that gap,
yeah,
it would go.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and you would have bottomed the van out.
Yes.
So
you had to get
and
out.
The road is just wide enough for the van.
Yeah. So you got out in front of the van and were just guiding the wheels.
Inch by inch.
Yeah, oh god, that took ages.
And then there was a bike behind us, and I was like,
And then the road, once it got to a, I say, quote unquote proper dirt track, like it was like potholes and it was just vibrating, so we couldn't go too fast. And just in my head, it's like, we've just had work done to this. Oh my god. And then we did get on the road, but then we were going. Ah, yes, that's right. We found a spot in a town called Godix.
Okay.
Guadix. And so we got on the motorways to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they're Spanish motorways, so they're very steep.
Yeah.
So even more hard work for the van. And we got there, and this was one of the, considering the amazing spot we'd had the night before.
Yeah.
This is like these two spots sort of perfectly encapsulate travelling around in a camper van, stopping in places.
Yeah.
Because we had such an amazing night in the middle of nowhere, all alone in nature, the night before. This next one was, again, another motorhome facility. So 3 dedicated parking spaces with a water point.
Yeah.
But you're just on a road opposite flats with a big public car park behind you.
Which one was this? Remind me.
You're on a public road.
Yeah, I got that. We've done a lot of those.
I don't know how else to describe it really. There was a road, there was the main road going into the town, and then you just came off a little side road, and then it's on the other side of the building. I'll describe it to you later. But no, we say, it was just like the opposite. There was some other camper vans there, so there's no real risk of safety or anything like that. It's just, you then get the worry, because there was a car park behind us, are there people going to turn up and start blasting music in the middle of the night? Is there going to be noise from the roads or anything else? You don't know. Luckily there wasn't. As we woke up in the morning, we had to wait, because you had about 12 spaces and there's about 4 or 5 other camper vans there, and only one spot, one water point. So we had to wait until that was free and then sort of swing the van round, fill up all the water, empty all the bad water. And then we were off. Our big objective then was to go to France.
Yeah.
On the way to Italy. So we spent the night there and driving towards France using the main roads. We stopped at the one really good stop we had. So avoiding the main roads.
Yeah.
We're still using motorways because we're going through mountainy bits as opposed to by the coast. We're not too mountainy. And the next stop we had was in a little town called Lezuza, which was where, again, another motorhome spot, but it was just on their football field.
Yeah.
So you had to drive across the football field.
And just pull up at the edge.
But that's where the spaces were.
Yeah.
So, okay, fair enough. And that's another place they have a list of rules. Like you can stay there for 48 hours, but do not get your table and chairs out.
No.
No warnings, no nothing like that.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like people breaking rules like that is why Portugal isn't accommodating anymore.
Yeah.
Luckily we were the only people there, so we could take Dargo for a walk around the field.
Yeah, she liked that walk.
Yeah. And that was nice. That's just another good, like, I love that Spain has places like these little towns in the middle of nowhere, which we wouldn't have gone to, and we wouldn't have seen, because there was an information board with a bit of history about the place.
Yes.
We wouldn't have been there if we didn't know that there was a motorhome place there. Because when we camp, we'd rather not wild camp, because you don't know which way it's going to go. There's the risk of being asked to move,
especially in that part of Europe. It's a bit more risky.
So when these places allow these really like naturally beautiful remote locations, you know, as we just really appreciate it. It's really good. You get to see places you ordinarily wouldn't have seen.
Yeah.
And the next day we just carried on along these roads. Got to our last night in Spain actually was at Teruel. Teruel, and that was the one. There was a dinosaur park nearby.
Oh yes.
We were considering going there, and we ended up parking. There's like the main road and the ring road that goes around, and there was like a little access road, which I think people go and you just park up on a bit of gravel, and people go on a little jogging routes.
Yes.
Around like a park thing, but we just parked up there for the night, and that was it. After that, just carried on over the border crossing north of Figueres.
Yeah.
The way we came in, got LPG before leaving the country, and crossed into France and spent the night there, somewhere on the French side.
Yeah.
And that was Spain. So yeah, the last week, the last like 4 days of Spain were just driving.
Yeah.
Getting back.
But amazing countryside again.
Yeah, Spain is really good to drive through.
Yeah.
It is we didn't do any of the toll roads.
No.
So we don't know what the prices are like on there.
No.
But the the motorways run almost parallel to the toll roads.
Yes.
And they're not that much. There are steeper hills, so heavier vehicles.
There's steeper hills, and there's a big section of that motorway where there are lots of bridges, but before every bridge there is a pothole.
Oh yeah.
I
remember that. Yeah.
Where the potholes were frequent and regular enough for there to be a pattern.
Yeah, there was a pattern to the pothole. I remember. Yeah.
It's like, come on, Spain.
Yeah.
What is happening here? But yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, the motorways, the free motorways in Spain will go up and over the hills, whereas I imagine the toll roads just go through.
Yeah.
So it is easier to drive on the toll roads, but you won't be missing anything by taking the motorways.
Yeah.
We certainly weren't inconvenienced enough to consider using the toll roads.
No, not at all.
And yet Spain, I think, still is the most accommodating country that we've visited. For motorhomes and campervans. Absolutely everywhere there are places. They kind of depend on it. Well, they don't depend on it, but they know.
It's part, yeah.
Yeah, it's such a popular place to go.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the same in the north.
Maybe.
Because then, it's the north. It's northern Spain. You're near the Channel.
Yeah.
It's English weather, essentially.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see what it is like more in the north of the country, but certainly down the south, on the Mediterranean coast and inland quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'd love to go back there. Maybe not. Well, yeah, I mean, survive Greece and that stuff. I'd love to go back there again. There's so much of Spain we didn't see.
Spain's a massive country.
Yeah, we saw such a small. We just saw just the coast essentially.
Yeah.
There's
still so much about Spain. So through watching a lot of Spanish programs and things like that, I know a lot of Spanish history.
Yeah.
So I would have loved to have done a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gutted. We covered this last week, but how close we got to Barcelona.
Yeah, yeah.
But couldn't go.
But like Zaragoza, you've got Madrid.
Yeah.
All those things. I've been to Madrid before, but I wanted to take you.
Yes.
But yeah, and as I said, I think in the last episode that I wanted to do all the Moorish history as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
It was unfortunate.
It is what it is.
But say on the way back, I mean, losing a week to having repairs didn't help. But then after that, it was like, right, we need to get to Greece.
Yeah, we've still got
Italy to do.
Exactly.
And then I think we were trying to look for snow chains in Spain. And that's when we gave up and realised. We covered in the southern France episode a couple of weeks ago. We needed snow chains to meet winter driving requirements in Italy. And Spain did have in some places.
Yes, but that'll again be towards the north of the country, towards Bilbao and stuff.
Yeah, but they had their like Halford's equivalent.
Yeah.
They did have snow chains in stores, but not a wide variety of them.
No.
It's not really, especially for older vehicles. They didn't have what we needed. But yeah, Spain. I mean, yeah, we didn't get to do as much as we wanted, but that just gives us more reason to go back.
Yeah.
But no, Spain, I know I've already said it, reiterate, is so accommodating to motorhomes.
Yeah.
Other than visiting cities.
Yeah.
That's it. But then there are, if you're just going to Spain for like a month or something, you can work that into your budget, because I know certainly Barcelona, because that's what we looked up.
Yeah.
There is a motorhome parking area with rail connections to Barcelona. I can't imagine Madrid doesn't have something similar.
I imagine Madrid does.
So if you've got the money to spend,
yeah.
But on a tight budget, no, you can't really do the cities. But if you've got the money to buy your safety sort of thing, then yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Spain. Because we didn't do the rules and regulations this week because we did them last week. But also last week we didn't do the trivia.
Yes.
So here's the trivia. Oh, and there's a bit of trivia I found out last week and didn't tell you about.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's one of the bonus ones. So we get to that.
So I'm learning as well.
You're learning too.
Excellent.
So Spain. Bit of fun facts and trivia about Spain. It is the second largest country in the EU.
Okay.
After France.
Ah, okay. Cool.
In terms
That's
of
going to be
surface
my
area.
next question.
Yeah. It is. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Spain is runner-up in a lot of things.
Okay.
So it's the second largest country in the EU. Spanish is the second most spoken native language in the world.
Okay.
After Mandarin.
There we go. Yeah.
Now, obviously, because I got confused the first time I read this a while ago. Like, English is the most spoken language.
Yeah.
That's because everybody has it as their second
language. Yeah.
Spanish is the second most spoken first language.
Yeah.
Native language. And Spain is the second most mountainous country in Europe.
Okay.
There are no prizes for guessing what the first one is. The most mountainous country in Europe.
Switzerland?
Correct. Because of course it is. But then again, I think that's unfair because by comparison...
How is that measured? Because is it done
if
on
it's done
proportion of the country?
I don't. If it's done as percentage of the country, then Switzerland is probably the most mountainous country in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah. Right, the Puerto del Sol, apologies for the pronunciation, or the Gate of the Sun is in Madrid, and it is the geographical centre of Spain.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's interesting because I personally look at Madrid and I don't look at that as being in the middle of Spain, but that's because for some reason in my head, the shape of Spain encompasses Portugal.
Oh, I see.
Because it's...
A lot of people will not be happy about that comment.
I know, and I apologise. I know it's not. It's just, yeah, it's a weird one. Spain has more than 1 million hectares dedicated to growing wine. Yeah.
That's a lot of
there
hectares.
You go. That's a lot of hectares.
That's a lot of wine.
I don't know what a hectare is.
That's a lot of sangria.
Yes. I don't know what a hectare is. It's not metric. That's like, I don't know how many horse hands or sailor knots that is. I don't know. Like,
how many poppy seeds, though?
I don't know how many thrips that is. But it's a lot of wine, yeah. This is an interesting one. Comes up in a lot of articles because it's funny. There is no national law against nudity in Spain, but it is inappropriate in certain situations.
Of course,
like in Lidl or something. Right? But technically, there's nothing illegal. But then, interestingly, I don't think there's anything illegal about it in the UK. But you can get done for public indecency if people complain.
That's
if people
the,
complain.
Yeah.
Like you can essentially do not whatever you want, but you can do a lot more than you think you can.
Yeah.
Just if anyone is offended by it and complains about it, then you have to stop. But yeah, no national law against nudity in Spain. The national anthem of Spain has no words.
Okay.
So I don't know what they sing at events.
Maybe they don't sing.
Well, they obviously don't sing. Maybe they just hum
the
tune. Maybe, who knows. As we said earlier, I'm stepping on my own trivia section here. It's the only European country with cities on African soil. That's Ceuta and Melilla. Melilla?
I think so.
Melilla. It's two L's, it's more of a Y, isn't it?
Yeah.
Other than a few Portuguese islands, it is the only country in Europe where bananas grow.
Oh, really? I didn't know Spain had bananas.
Yeah, it's the only country in Europe to have them. So apart from a few Portuguese islands.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And Spain, and I can understand why, has the highest number of bars in Europe. That's because all the Brits
That'll
go
be
there
the
on
Brits.
holiday, yeah.
Wonder what's going to happen next summer.
Who knows? So a couple of bonus ones. They have a annual event called La Tomatina, or
Yes, with the tomatoes.
the throwing of tomatoes. It's held every year on the last Wednesday of August. Oh, that's coming up. That's like next week.
We could have gone.
Do you think we can get to
can't
Spain in a
go.
week?
Like, I don't think that's happening this year, surely.
Probably
but...
not, no. In the town of Bunol,
Okay.
outside of Valencia. Doesn't mean going back to Valencia. And on average, over 150,000 tomatoes are thrown. I think they just throw tomatoes at each other.
Yeah.
They just get in the street and pelt each other.
With tomatoes.
That's fine.
It sounds amazing. I've wanted to do it for years.
I think that sounds incredibly wasteful, actually.
Like, you know, the Indians throw coloured powder.
Powder, yeah.
The Spanish throw tomatoes. Why not?
And chavs throw shade.
Is that a festival?
Or throw hands, I'm not sure. I'm not very street. And this is the one, right? Okay.
Okay.
Final one. They don't have a tooth fairy.
Okay.
They have a tooth mouse.
Does it wear a song?
Called Ratoncito Perez.
Ratoncito Perez.
Ratoncito Perez. I imagine a little mouse comes in and I imagine it's the same thing.
Is it a similar thing?
Takes a tooth and leaves your money.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't have a tooth fairy. They have a tooth mouse.
Does he fly?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
We'll find out. But that sounds kind of cool.
One day, yeah, there you go.
I like it.
That was a weird little bonus.
That's fine.
Couldn't find any novelty, like horrible sounding motels or anything like that. That seems just to be a Baltic thing there. So that's it. That's Spain.
That is Spain.
That's absolutely everything.
Yes. Also,
Yes, go on.
you did not mention Don Quixote.
Don Quixote. Oh, the book.
Yeah, the novel, which you had not heard of.
I had not heard of. No.
And it's like the most. No, it's. I don't think it's the most translated book in the world anymore.
No, that's not the
But
Bible,
it was.
Isn't it like the first novel?
Yeah.
And like it has a major impact on like,
everything.
Western literature.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's like one of the most important books in history.
And you know, so on the way up from Gibraltar to France,
yes,
when we did that run,
we
were going through basically
we
where
were. Yes.
the story's set.
Yes.
And quite a few of the towns that we went through, it's on the Don Quixote trail.
Yes.
And you can stop at all the different points, and it's like, oh, this part of the story happened here. And this is where this character is from, and all that kind of stuff, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I wonder if it's any good though.
What do you mean?
Well, like I read Moby Dick, and that's awful. It's just a lot of racism and vivid descriptions of whales.
You said racism and Dargo woke up. So you what? Where?
Because she's black.
Oh.
She's a black cat, for anyone who doesn't know. I'm not being weird.
But no, maybe we can read it. I'm pretty sure you can get it in English.
It's one of the most translated books. I'd be surprised if it's not in English. Oh yeah, you didn't do English.
No.
What, really?
No.
What was the point of colonialism?
Well, I think at the point where it came out, or around the time when it was written, Spain was at war with England.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, but since then it's calmed down a bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
I was sure it's available in England.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Anywho.
enough rambling, that's it.
Yes.
Thank you very much for listening to this episode.
Yes.
Through all of that. That is our first two-parter.
It is.
I have a feeling Morocco is definitely going to be a two-parter.
At least.
Maybe three. A lot went on in Morocco.
So much happened. Well, we spent a month there.
We spent a whole month there, yeah.
So.
But that's all for next week. Thank you for listening.
Mm-hmm.
Please do leave a rating or review
Yes,
if
please.
whatever service you're on allows you to do so, or just a comment if you're listening on YouTube. It really helps out our exposure. If you have been listening on YouTube, you may like to know we are on your podcast service of choice.
Indeed.
Almost any podcast service we are available on, just search for CatavanCast. Likewise, if you are listening through a podcast service, you may be interested to know these are all up on our YouTube channel as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just search for Catavan or Catavan UK, as we don't have enough subscribers for a personalised URL yet. These podcasts go live every Wednesday, and on YouTube we have video diaries that go up every Sunday, although next week will be the last one for a little bit.
For a little while.
Because Well, because we've
reasons that you'll find out in the video.
Yes. So please do get in touch with. Just please do get in touch. We love hearing from people. We have some comments here and there. We do really appreciate it. We'll respond to you. Honest. You can leave us a comment or review. If you're going to leave a comment on a review page, though, you have to leave 5 stars.
Do they?
I think that's the rule.
Is that the rule?
Yeah. Otherwise, we don't see a review. So even if you leave a negative review, just give us 5 stars. Otherwise, it doesn't count.
I see.
Yes, it's the trick.
Okay.
Or you could just comment on one of our YouTube videos, or you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Catavan UK, or you can email us directly at catavanuk@gmail.com. Redbubble.
Yes.
You've been updating that.
I have been updating it, and in fact, one of the bridges near the dam that we spoke about is now on Redbubble. That's one of my favourite pictures.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. That's up there. I'm trying to add more. We are up to 51 photographs on there, 51 designs, if you will.
There you go.
And my aim is to have that up to 100 before.
There you go.
Like middle of September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's sunsets, that's cliffs, that's
animals.
Animals.
You want little
hills.
turtles? I got little turtles. You want gorillas? I got gorillas.
And anything and everything in between.
Yeah.
And of course you're offering custom things, aren't you?
Yes, if there's anything that you want personalised, or, if you've got somebody who absolutely loves gorillas as much as I do, but you want their name on it, let me know.
Yeah.
And I'll do it.
Make that happen. Make those dreams come true. The longest day of the year has passed. That means Christmas is coming.
It is coming. Ooh, yes.
The C word.
Yes, the C word.
The other C word. There's 2 C words this year. Well, there's COVID and Christmas. And the other one. But yeah, that's it for this week.
Yes.
Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
So next week will be our first episode on Morocco.
Yes.
So most of that will be covering how to get into Morocco.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of stuff to go into in Morocco, so we're quite looking forward to getting into that.
Yeah.
Seeing how much you remember.
Yeah, we'll also do a few basics about surviving Morocco, shall we say?
Yeah. But anyway, that's all for next week.
Yes.
Thank you very much for listening.
Mm-hmm.
I've been Ben.
I've been Fred. Dargo is now sleeping with her eyes open.
Sleeping with her eyes open. She's
with her peepers open.
Curled up in a little ball. She's too cute, it hurts me.
Okay.
Better go now so I can cry. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.